2020 has been completely unpredictable so far.
Yeah.
And it'll definitely be one that's going to be remembered in history.
Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to ask you about some of these great murals we've been seeing popping up in the city. So when did you decide to either do your first mural or participate in one?
You know, I did some murals with Walker's Point Collective, and you know, one of my biggest influencers on that would be Chacho Lopez. And working with him back in the day, we did Nomad, we did Sprecher, we did outside of Cafe Hollander, and he just really like sparked this like just go out and do it. Like, it's something Chacho always says. You're like, hey, how do you do that? And he'd be like, just do it. And you're like, I hate you because you're so good at it. And you're just telling me to do it. Like, okay, fine, whatever.
Right.
And it's discouraging at first, but then like you listen to him and it works. So I was on River West's, you know, neighborhood page, just reading stuff as I do late at night when I'm bored. And a building owner that owns this building on Holt and North. It's like this. It used to be an old like convenience store that somebody ended up dying at. They closed it down, and it's just been storage.
Okay.
And it looks boarded up. It's like a parking lot. It's just an unused space, and it kind of looked messed up. And he asked like if anybody was interested in doing like a George Floyd memorial. Just like let them know.
Right.
And I just commented like, fuck yeah, let's do it. And then there was like a ton of interest. And I was like, cool. He didn't really know what to do with all that information.
Okay.
It's just like, you know, he's just a property owner.
Right.
You gotta like organize that type of stuff. And he's like, well, anybody interested, like please meet up at the property at this certain time. I showed up and 2 other people showed up, and we kind of were like, none of us wanted to do it alone. Like we were into it because the community is into it. So we were like, well, how do we do this? Let's start an event. Let's buy the paint. Let's invite the entire like world out to show up, whoever you are, any experience, fine, and paint. And like I said, we just followed kind of Chacho's words and we just did it.
Nice.
And even Chacho showed up, Bartos showed up, you know, and those are like some of the top like, artists out here doing murals in the city for years and years and years. Yeah. And then the community came out and like that whole building got covered in a day. You know, it was beautiful to see everybody's like reactions and positivity to it.
And I can say, because we was there too, I mean, and it was beautiful. It was a great feeling to see everybody of all different backgrounds, all different ethnicities, you know, just coming together.
Yeah, I mean, all of us working on it felt the same, you know?
Right.
We felt that absolutely, like, there was no justice being had, and enough was enough.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I was like, what can we do? We're artists. So, like, I guess we can paint.
Right.
And through that is powerful, like, you know?
It definitely is. And that just goes to show that everybody can contribute in their own way. You know, whatever craft that you may do, whatever skills that you may have, you know, we can all contribute because, you know, it's for humanity, you know, overall. And that actually leads me right into my next question was what kind of initially inspired your passion for the social justice element of it?
That definitely goes back to like just being against like every system that existed in the United States as a child. Just everything doesn't make sense what's going on, how it's set up, you know. There's so many unequal parts to our country that is ridiculous. And seeing that as a child, like, was so, like, infuriating to me. And saying something about it as a kid, and then being adults, like, just deal with it, you know?
Right.
So then I'm like, whatever, a little rebellious kid, and just listening to Rage Against the Machine, and, like, listening to Zach De La Rocha, and, like, you know, that transition to, like, going into, like, other music and underground hip-hop that was just that's what they spoke about.
Right.
You know?
Right.
They weren't focusing on the other things that kept people rich, that kept people in power. They were focusing on, like, real life injustices in America, real life, like, shit that all of us see every day. And they're saying, do something about this.
Right.
Don't just look at it. You know what I mean? And even back then, we didn't have cell phones to record shit.
Right.
They were literally like, go fucking do something about it.
Right.
Like, if you see injustice happening, like, you need to stand up and go stop it.
Yeah.
And that's it.